Chapter 7, Lesson 5. So in this video we're going to talk about the evaluation stage, which is the final stage of our systems analysis cycle. And in this stage what will happen is once this system has been introduced into the company or business, we then have to decide whether or not this new system is running efficiently, if there are no errors, if there's anything that needs to be upgraded in the system or the business. So these things are decided in this evaluation stage. So the next stage, evaluation, so it's the sixth step and final step of our cycle. It is the final stage to see how the system is working. Is it effective? Is it working efficiently? And what impact is it making on the company or business? Why is it important to evaluate a system? So we need to make sure that the system is doing the job it was designed to do. We need to see that the system is working well with minimum errors. And we need to make sure that the staff can use the system properly. So these are three reasons why it is important to evaluate the system that you're introducing into the company or business. What questions could you ask that are considered good in the evaluation stage? So to make sure that the system is working efficiently, there are three main questions that we are going to look at that we can ask, and there's sub-questions to each of those main questions. So the three main questions are: is the system effective? Is the system easy to use? And is the system appropriate? So these are three good main questions that you can ask to see whether or not the system is working correctly or as desired by the company or business. The sub-questions that you can ask for each of these questions. So is the system effective? You can also ask, does the system work fast? Does the system run smoothly? Does the system save the company time and money? And does the system reduce paper waste? So for is the system easy to use, you can also ask these sub-questions. Does the system have a user-friendly interface? Can everyone use the system easily? Can the system be used with minimal training? And the last one, is the system appropriate? The sub-questions we can ask here. Does the system perform the job it was designed for? Are the clients happy with the system? And is there anything the system can't do that it should do? So these are considered good questions to ask during the evaluation stage. How is evaluation carried out? So comparing the system against the initial requirements. So if you remember back to stage 1, that's the analysis stage, the analyst asked questions and observed staff in order to figure out exactly what the client required the new system to do. So this is called a requirements specification. So the analyst will compare the completed system to each of the original requirements. If each of the requirements has been met, the new system can be considered a success. Evaluating the user's experience, you can also talk about the users of the new system. You can ask them questions. Users of the system will be asked their views about the performance. Do they find the system easy to use? Does the system help them do their job? Have they experienced any errors or glitches? So people who use the system on a daily basis can sometimes find problems that testing may miss. They can also identify limitations of the new system. So after evaluating the system, the analyst will make a list of system limitations. These limitations will include anything on the requirements specification that the system cannot do. So the original list of requirements that they needed the new system to be able to do. If there's anything on that list that the system cannot do, then it will go on the list of system limitations. And identifying system improvements, so this is based on the list of system limitations, so all the things that the system couldn't do that the requirement specification needed it to do. The analyst will recommend improvements that need to be made to the system. So this is how evaluation can be carried out. After evaluation, what might need to be carried out? After evaluation has been carried out and the system's success has been determined, it could be necessary to carry out some changes or improvements to that system. So these can include error correction. So if there are any limitations and errors identified during the evaluation, they will be fixed and tested. They can add functionality So users of the system may ask for extra functions to be added in order to improve the performance. So for example, a company may expand into a different country and could require language translation features that have to be added to their system. And performance improvement, so hardware or software may need to be upgraded. So for example, hardware, you might need larger hard disk drives, faster servers. For software, system code change to remove bugs, etc. So this is what might need to be carried out once the evaluation has taken place. What happens after final improvements, improving or evaluating of the system has taken place? So if after evaluation and improvements have been carried out, the systems analyst will start the whole process again from the beginning. So the new system will be reanalyzed to see if it still meets the company's requirements. Updated requirement specifications will be devised. New designs will be produced with improvements to the system. So these improvements will be developed into the system. Improvements to the system will be tested, installed, and then evaluated. Cool, so that is the end of this lesson. Please let me know if you have any questions.